Did you know that astronauts can grow up to 2 inches taller in space? But there's a disturbing catch that NASA doesn't talk about enough. By the time you finish watching this, you'll never think about space travel the same way again. Right now, there are 7 humans living 250 miles above your head on the International Space Station, and their bodies are literally falling apart. I know what you're thinking. Space is the future. It's exciting. It's humanity's next frontier. But here's what they're not showing you in those beautiful NASA promotional videos. In zero gravity, your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Within just 2 weeks in space, an astronaut's heart becomes measurably weaker and actually shrinks in size by up to 9%. Your cardiovascular system essentially becomes lazy because it doesn't have to fight gravity anymore. Astronaut Scott Kelly spent 340 days on the islands, and when he returned in 2016, his heart had reduced in mass so significantly that researchers compared it to the heart of someone who'd been bedridden for months. But wait, it gets worse. Your bones start dissolving, not slowly, but at an alarming rate of 1 to 2% of bone mass per month. That's 10 times faster than osteoporosis patients on Earth. Astronauts on a 6-month mission can lose the equivalent of 20 years' worth of bone density. The calcium from your disintegrating bones gets released into your bloodstream, and you literally pee out your skeleton. NASA has astronauts exercise 2.5 hours every single day in space, and they still can't prevent this bone loss completely. Now here's where it gets controversial, and this is something space agencies rarely emphasize when recruiting astronauts. Your eyes change shape in space. About 70% of astronauts develop vision problems due to increased intracranial pressure. The fluid shift in zero gravity pushes on the back of your eyeballs, flattening them and causing the optic nerve to swell. Some astronauts have returned from long-duration missions with permanent vision damage. We're sending people to space knowing their eyesight might never fully recover. Your immune system practically shuts down up there. Studies on ISS astronauts show that T cells, your body's primary defense against disease, become significantly less effective in microgravity. Viruses that lie dormant in your body, like chickenpox and herpes, can reactivate in space. In 2019, research published in Frontiers in Microbiology revealed that 53% of astronauts on short shuttle flights and 61% on ISS missions shed herpes viruses during their mission. Let's talk about something nobody mentions at dinner parties. In zero gravity, bodily fluids don't drain downward because there is no downward. Your sinuses stay perpetually congested, giving you a permanent stuffy head sensation. Astronauts report that food tastes bland because their sense of smell is compromised. But here's the really uncomfortable part. Going to the bathroom becomes an engineering challenge that requires literal training. One small mistake, and you're chasing floating waste through the cabin. Your spine elongates because the vertebrae spread apart without gravity compressing them. That's where those 2 extra inches of height come from. Sounds cool for a shorter person, right? Except it comes with severe back pain that 60% of astronauts experience. The muscles supporting your spine weaken dramatically, and when you return to Earth, that sudden recompression can cause herniated discs. Even your blood changes. Red blood cell production drops by about 10% in orbit within 10 days, a condition called space anemia. Your body detects that in the fluid-shifted environment of microgravity, it has too many red blood cells, so it destroys them and stops making as many new ones. When you land back on Earth, you're functionally anemic until your body readjusts. NASA's Human Research Program has identified over 30 significant health risks associated with spaceflight, and we've only really sent people to low Earth orbit for extended periods. Mars is a whole different challenge. A round trip to Mars would take about 2 to 3 years with current technology. Imagine what we just discussed, but multiply the damage. Add in massive radiation exposure from cosmic rays that Earth's magnetic field currently protects us from, and you're looking at a significantly increased cancer risk. Studies estimate that astronauts on a Mars mission would exceed their lifetime radiation exposure limits and face a 5 to 10% increased risk of fatal cancer. The Artemis program plans to return humans to the Moon by 2025 and eventually establish a lunar base. SpaceX wants to colonize Mars. But here's the question nobody's answering satisfactorily. Can the human body actually adapt to long-term life in reduced gravity, or are we biologically locked to Earth? Some researchers believe humans born in space might never be able to visit Earth because they'd lack the bone density and muscle strength to withstand our gravity. We might be creating a permanent separation of humanity. Yet despite all these risks, astronauts line up for the opportunity. Over 12,000 people applied for NASA's 2021 astronaut class for just 10 positions. They know the risks. They accept them because some things are worth the sacrifice to push humanity forward. If you found this eye-opening, follow for more content that reveals what's really happening beyond our atmosphere. Now I want to know what you think. Knowing all these health risks, would you still accept a one-way ticket to Mars if it meant becoming one of the first human colonists on another planet?